everyone, and welcome to Dreamleapers with Harriette Cole. Can I tell you how excited I am about our guest today? I have a woman who I have admired for all of my career. Let's say when I was the fashion editor at Essence, I was able to see her work up close and personal. It is gorgeous and really helps to define the power of a woman in her full femininity. I love that. And isn't this the year of the woman? So I thought, what a perfect time to talk to her. Let me tell you who my guest is. She is Donna Karan, an iconic American fashion designer and philanthropist whose remarkable career has transformed the fashion landscape for more than 4 decades. Known for her innovative designs that blend simplicity and comfort, Donna is the founder of the celebrated labels Donna Karan New York and DKNY and Donna Karan. Her introduction of the Essentials line in 1985 revolutionized women's fashion, making style accessible and functional. And throughout her illustrious career, Donna has garnered so many accolades. I just want to tell you a few of them. The Coty American Fashion Critics Award, that was in 1977 and 1982. The CFDA Women's Wear Designer of the Year, 1985, 1990, 1996. The CFDA Lifetime Achievement Award in 2004. And the CFDA Founders Award in 2016. In 2007, Donna did something so special. She founded Urban Zen. It is a lifestyle brand dedicated to promoting holistic wellness and supporting artisan communities around the globe. As a pioneer in both fashion and philanthropy, Donna continues to inspire with her unwavering commitment to social change and creativity. And we could not be happier than to have her here with us today. Please join me in welcoming my friend, Donna Karan. Hello, dear one.
We're sitting here. It's not like sitting in the Hamptons, honey.
It's not. We spent a lot of time together in what I call my happy place with the sun kissing us. But now we're in New York City. And Donna, I'm always inspired when I'm in your company. And one of the things that is particularly inspiring is your love of women, your embrace of women as we are, not trying to make us be men, not trying to make us be anything other than really celebrating the fullness of who we are. And that is something that can be scary to other people, right? And we sometimes really have to stand up and fight. You've always had this embrace of women. Tell me about your philosophy of women and power.
I think the funny part of this whole thing is I never wanted to be a designer. I was brought up on 7th Avenue. My father was a custom tailor. My mother worked as a model on 7th Avenue. And as a child, they would bring me there. And I said, the one thing I never wanted to do was to be a designer. My dream in life was to sing like Barbra Streisand, dance like Martha Graham.
Those are good dreams.
But unfortunately, it turned out, yes, I dressed Barbara, and my true inspiration was Martha Graham, and the whole idea of moving the body. Because I started doing yoga when I was 17 years old.
Wow.
Now, if I say 17, you could count that pretty good.
I mean, that's something, because that was just when yoga and Eastern traditions and philosophy were really making their way to the United States. So you were early on. That's good for you.
I was in high school.
Yeah.
At the time. So yoga for me is, how do we find the calm and the chaos of the world we live in today? So as a yogi, that really kind of drew my line in my life. But what truly happened, I had my choice. If I was going to be a designer or an artist, I was going to go to FIT. But that's really what I wanted to do, is to be a designer. I mean, an illustrator.
Illustrator.
I love the work of art. And when I was in high school, I did my first collection. I used to hang out in the art room. I never showed up for class. I got in trouble for that too.
I bet you did.
High school, right? I worked as a salesperson when I was 14 years old, and I would dress all the kids, and they loved me doing that. Got them off to camp. But what I really loved more than anything was working with people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I really did enjoy. It wasn't designing as much, but really helping people.
And you do that, Donna. So I want to take people into Urban Zen, which is my hangout in the summer, coming in that beautiful tiny little space and hanging out with you. And Donna comes in the dressing room and you put stuff on. When Donna puts it on you, it's like, woo, you become a work of art. So you take those pieces, these drapey, sumptuous fabrics, and I don't care who the woman is. When she comes out of that dressing room after you have spent that personal time with her, she just feels even more empowered.
It's so funny you say that, but people really don't. First of all, they're shocked that I am me.
Yes.
At Urban Zen and Tutu El Giorno.
Yes.
In Sag Harbor, where we kind of girly it together.
Yep.
People say, well, how much is that? Or what's that? And I go, I don't know.
See, here we go. Look at these fabulous things.
I know. Oh, there they are. So now we're looking at 2 spots. We're looking at Sag Harbor.
Yep.
And I love being in Sag Harbor. And we're coming into, I'm in a New York state of mind.
Exactly. It's beautiful.
So clothes and show them that you can wear the same things. Like right now, I know you're wearing the suede coat, which I love more than anything else in the world. And I was going to wear it too, so we would look alike. But then I realized you were wearing it, so I could wear it. However, put a turtleneck on underneath it, and you've gone completely in another direction.
Exactly.
So really have an opportunity that they don't. This is one season. This is another season. This is another season. I believe when I'm designing that it evolves season after season. And for those of you who don't know, I started 7 Easy Pieces because I believe, and this goes back way, way back, that if you wear 7 Easy Pieces, you can roll them in a ball and travel the world. And as we're talking about executive women, constantly on the go, constantly working. So when I did my first 7 Easy Pieces at Anne Klein, no, that was Donna Karan. I get confused a little bit. And I really want to show it to you. And this started in 1984. And I'm going to show you the 7 Easy Pieces. Here it is. There are 7 Easy Pieces. The wrap and tie skirt, which goes from J in black jersey to sequins at night. So you're wearing a bodysuit and all of a sudden you just flip skirts. So working women have an opportunity to do that. So you have your blazer, you have a skirt, you have your pant. Of course, you need a divine coat and camel and black. My father was a custom tailor, so that's what got me into jacketing. And I love bodysuits because I was a yogi.
Yes.
So that was
every shape of bodysuit to this day.
Well, the bodysuits. So I wanted to show you that too, which is really quite, I can't even believe this. Here it is.
And this is from your book, The Journey of a Woman. It's about your life, correct?
Well, it's the photographic part of it.
Yes.
And
so for those who are listening, this is a big picture book. It's really beautiful. And it is the photo documentary of Donna Karan's life as a designer. It's really gorgeous.
Well, here it is. This is the first collection I ever did.
Wow.
You see, I can't, you have to go
Look at
left.
all those bodysuits.
And yes, this was in
84, right?
right?
Mhm.
The first collection and all the bodysuits.
That's incredible. And Donna, when did you do the ad campaign featuring woman as president? That was what year was that? Remember?
Funny you should ask about that, my darling.
Imagine that in 2024.
I have one thing before that.
Okay.
Which I'm going to show you, and the woman in presidency at that time.
Fabulous. Look at that. That jersey was everything. And the cold shoulder. Wait. Here, look. I've got this. Jack this on. You see, I got my cold shoulder. Yes. And you have yours.
You never, ever gain weight on your shoulder. You could show nothing else, but the shoulder is a guarantee. It's the only place. Take a turtleneck, take anything. This part of the body, sorry girls, but it's the truth, is the only place that doesn't gain weight. Now, even children are wearing it. This cold shoulder has gone everywhere.
And this is something that Donna Karan introduced in the 80s, and it is still like, how many people, everybody's making the cold shoulder now. And it's just
when the kids walk in the cold shoulder, that cracks me up.
because they can look good in everything. Let me remind folks, this is Dreamleapers with Harriette Cole. We are talking to Donna Karan. She's taking us back in time and leading us right up to the present, because her fashion is really classic, and it's classic Donna Karan, and classic Donna Karan is timeless. But this notion of the cold shoulder, I love it, because as you say, everybody can wear it. The shoulder doesn't gain weight, so it's going to look good. It's going to look sexy no matter what. I love that.
I do too. But I think one of the best pictures I have here, I sent to Hillary.
As in Clinton.
I'm sorry. Hillary Clinton.
Yep.
Amazing when she was running for president. And I said, thank God my pictures come true. And I'm looking right here for a woman running for president, woman who ran and made the presidency. And this is a very funny story, because every photograph that I ever take is a story behind it. Mm-hmm. And the funniest part of this story, oh, come on, Donna. Here it is. Thank you.
This is that. So this picture, for those of you who can't see, this is a picture. It's like the swearing in of the first female president. And wasn't this in the 80s that you did this?
This was 19. I will tell you exactly when it was.
This is fantastic.
I then sent Hillary the photograph when she was running for president. And this is 19. So the funny part of it, because I was so involved with what I wanted to say to the world, mm-hmm. how I wanted to communicate. And the night before, I was planning to do, what is the actress when she sits at the table and she says, "Don't mess with me, fellas." That it was an actress, and that was the name of the movie, and it was an all men's business.
Right.
She's at the top, and she says, "Don't mess with me, fellas." And then that night, right before, I said, I got it. It's a woman running for president.
I love it. I love it.
And they immediately went down to Florida and shot the whole campaign.
Beautiful.
So then when Hillary became, up for presidency, I sent her a photograph. And I was so happy. Well, here we are again.
And I mean, it's amazing. I don't know whether you saw the conversation with Oprah and Kamala Harris, but
yes, I did.
It was so touching. You see these two powerful women, one of whom is running for president, just being real, being sensitive and strong all at the same time. And isn't that what we want? We are the ones who save the world. And this is a time when the world needs saving. So it's just really quite amazing. Donna, one of the things that you have been championing is this film, Red, White, and Blue. And I think now's a good time to talk about it, because when
Smart,
Hillary,
you went to see it. You were there. You had no idea what you were going to
I had
see.
no idea. I had no idea. This is an Oscar-nominated short film, everybody. It's called Red, White, and Blue by Nazrin Chowdhury, and it is transformative. It is a film, basically a slice of life. Like, what is life like now that reproductive rights have been snatched out of so many states and so many women's lives? And this is a slice of life. It shows what can happen, which is so incredibly powerful. And it's important that this film is being shown now so that our eyes can be open. What happens when women don't have the authority over their own being? And this was discussed with Oprah and Kamala Harris's family. Oh, the mother and her two daughters, and the mother saying her youngest daughter died because they withheld medical care when she had complications from taking the pill that should allow the fetus to abort. It is tragic. I mean, a DNC is used for lots of purposes. How is it possible that that could be held hostage?
Florida.
Yes.
You have to drive up to New York.
Right.
Georgia. Look at all the states that do not supply this. Now, the fact that New York supplies the ability. Now, I have to say that when it was first released here in New York, I was on the line the first week. I was too young. It was what it was. But that was a decision that I had to make.
Yep.
Not the country. And I think what Kamala said very, very clearly, this is personal.
It is.
Up to every single person to be allowed where they are. But what this movie, and I want everybody to see this film.
Agreed.
A must. And we're trying to get it out so it can be seen everywhere. We just showed it in LA. We're going down to the swing states. I'm definitely bringing it down to Florida.
Excellent.
Because this is not a government's decision or a state's decision. This is a woman's decision. What does she want in her life?
And the more we
were raped.
Rape, incest.
I don't want to go there. What this film is truly about. And the young children who get raped.
That's right.
And they don't want to tell anybody. They don't know what to say. But just the fact that they were raped is unacceptable.
And then it feels like rape all over again when the government steps in and tells what you can or cannot do with your body, which just, these stories as they are coming to life, like this film, Red, White, and Blue, like when Kamala Harris spoke to that family and we learned the actual story of that young woman. When you hear the actual stories, it's very different than, this inflammatory conversation about what the government wants to do with your body, which is outrageous.
It's so important that we start a talk, that everyone puts it out there now, what they have and what we need as women.
Okay.
As
and
women,
remember,
women. Do you remember when I did, what was it, the ice bucket challenge?
Yes.
The most horrifying situation that happens is when young people lose their ability for their bodies. And
absolutely.
Then all of a sudden, how many years they have left.
And remember, Donna, when at one of the airings, because I've seen the film now twice, at one of the screenings, there was a woman in the talkback after who represented the organization that will give money for people who need to have and whatever services, reproductive services they need. And that's why people are flocking to New York to get free service. one of the things that she told us that I did not know, and it was repeated at this event with Oprah and Kamala Harris, was most women who get abortions today already have children. It is not because they're being reckless or irresponsible or what have you. Very often, it is an economic decision. They cannot afford to take care of a larger family, or they have health issues, or whatever it might be. And what we never hear from these folks who are pushing pro-life is what happens to the life if the mother can't care for it. How are you coming in now, government, to support this family? Are you coming in now, government, to do any of these things that would happen for a family? If you so value life, why aren't you doing that?
That is urban Zen. How do we find the calm in the chaos of the world we live in today? The first person I had at Urban Zen was His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Somebody in my design room said, Donna, if you could meet anyone in the world, who would it be? I said, His Holiness. Just like that. This woman who did my sewing in the back of my office gets me a meeting with His Holiness here in New York.
Wow.
Then I couldn't look. I could not look. I was so overwhelmed by sitting next to him. There were the two elder people we know. And it was at that point that my husband was sick. And my designer had taken sick. And I said, I wanted them to have a prayer from His Holiness.
Beautiful.
And His Holiness was the first person I had at Urban Zen Studios, which was my husband's studio.
That's powerful.
And from that moment on, Urban Zen was born. Urban Zen was born on dressing and addressing, but I was more into the addressing. But then when somebody says, Donna, this is all well and good, but where are the clothes?
Well, I remember when you started, it was
like with Barbara, Streisand. It says, oh, I like all you sing, but would you just sing people? And, you know, I mean, here's a woman who cares about this world on such an amazing level. The first one to come out there and talk about what's going on right now. I mean, we were in Israel together. It was the most amazing trip I ever had, where Barbara sang, oh, I wish I can remember the song in Israel, an Israeli song. And it was so, every president was there. It was on their anniversary.
Beautiful. That's beautiful. Well, I mean, you have had a lifetime of friendship with Barbara Streisand, right? She was this iconic figure for you, but has ended up being a treasure, personal treasure for you as well.
It was, when I met Barbara, okay. Do you know, if somebody says to you, who would you want to meet more than anyone else in the world? And I said, you know, Barbara Streisand. I was really young. She had just bought my fur coats at Bergdorf Goodman. My girlfriend calls me up and says, Barbara needs clothes to go with the fur coats. I go, what? Well, we're in the next season because the seasons don't work with what's happening in retail. So I empty my closets and I bring them to the office. I walk in and she's sitting, her back is to me. I am ready to have, I mean, I'm going to sweat.
Right, of course.
You sweat, dry idea, another fragrance of mine. But I said, I don't even know how to handle this. She walks in. Well, do you have any clothes to go with the coats? You know, it's like, this story goes on and on and on. And you must read my book. Because it's all there.
It's beautiful. And I'm so glad that you
did write the opening.
I'm so glad that you tell the story. And you surround yourself with powerful women. There's a woman that I met recently this summer with you, Zainab, who is beyond. Tell us about your curation of friends, and tell us about her. She's really quite a wonderful person.
Well, we started a joke. There's 3 of us, 2J, 1M. Okay. It just sort of started. I became friends with Zainab when she started Women of the World. And then we went to the Clinton Initiative. And she was there, I was there, and we all kind of, President Clinton truly changed my life, and so did Hillary. And his daughter, that with Barbara, we went to the inauguration when he became president.
Right.
I get a call. Donna, I need a tuck. I said, well, what size suit are you? He says, 54 long. I said, no, you're not. You're an extra long. And the story goes on and on. This is the funniest story. And Barbara and I are at the inauguration. We think we're the only people going to be there at these beautiful tables, but we didn't realize there were 14 or 15 inaugurations going all over, Washington.
Right.
And they kept on saying, can you sign my book? Can you sign my book? There's no food, no anything. And we're walking around. What is going on here? They take us in the back room. And the next thing they know, the president's coming. And they push us up on the main stage. And he says, I want you to meet my family. And of course, I am the first one in line. Comes over to me. And instead of saying that, I said, what size suit are you wearing? I had just made it.
That's funny.
And he said, 54 long. I said, no, okay, I will never question anything you do. And it was, as I sit here today and go there on Monday at the Clinton Initiative, for me, changed my life.
How so?
I was hoping to do healthcare and all of that. And he felt that I should go to Haiti. I go, Haiti? Where's Haiti? And Haiti was completely destroyed. Not that it wasn't destroyed prior to that, but I said, I go there to understand what is Haiti. Because I can't do anything unless I own it in my heart. And I went there and I was blown away. And I realized in Haiti, my 3 most important issues are the past, the present, and the future. The past being preservation of culture. The present, healthcare, which we could talk about for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours today. Where's the care in healthcare? And it's getting worse. We all know that.
Yep.
The future, education, about training our children. And what I want to happen is before a class starts, and we should have done it this way too. It's taking a breath.
Yes.
Putting down all your pieces. And opening your eyes. When you have that ability, and every child, because right now they're on computers, on this, on that, they're not talking to one another. They're talking to a machine.
They're not looking at one another at all, right?
This is probably the #1 addiction in the world we live in today. You want the good news and the bad news. But our children, and because of September 11th, when we were hit with what was
the planes into the World Trade Center.
So when we all got sick on
COVID, yeah.
The kids didn't go to school.
That's
Everything
right.
was online as we're doing it today. So is online the good part of online and the difficult part of online?
Right. Online allows us to be connected right this minute, and it's beautiful. And I think people have, one good thing is that we have figured out we can be connected to people all over the world and see each other. That's amazing. And we didn't really do that before the pandemic made us go home. And also as you're saying, just the addiction, people being attached so much to this that they aren't looking around at the rest of their lives.
How do I look? Picture, picture, picture. That where's the soul in the online?
Yeah.
And that is what scares me. And what is the most important thing is, okay, who started the computer? He passed away up in San Francisco.
Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs. Do you know in San Francisco, there is no permission for technology in the schools?
Wow. I did not know that.
Because they know it's an addiction. That there's no computer and no phone.
That's so ironic, considering that this is
that is what we all need today.
Mm-hmm.
Every school, this is why I say, you've got to start finding your center. Cleaning out all the stuff that's around you, because most of the kids are sitting there while they're in school. It's
true. And not talking to their families, not talking to anyone. It's absolutely true. And it's a fight when it's not the rule all around to take those devices out, because they do not want them to be, they don't want it ever to be out of their hand.
I mean, I love talking to you. And I love talking to more people. I love to hear what their issues are, how to deal with it, what can be dealt. And also, I do love dressing them.
Sure.
Because we got to know each other through the dressing.
We did. And let me remind folks, this is Dreamleapers with Harriette Cole. We are talking with Donna Karan, having a great, meaningful conversation covering so much ground. So Donna, when you mentioned Bill Clinton in his tuxedo, that took me to a memory that I recently shared with you when George and I got married, which is now 31 years ago. You gave George a Donna Karan tuxedo.
I did not
remember that. So, it's probably Patty Cohen who facilitated, because she was the one who facilitated everything, right? You're right on.
Patty was me.
I know.
I wasn't me, because I'm sort of like this I know it doesn't appear that way, but I don't like to deal with a lot of stuff other than designing and working with people.
Well, you provided an exquisite tuxedo from the Donna Karan collection for our wedding. And so I have to tell folks, because this is really good. I think it was last summer. I do hang out at Urban Zen in the summer. And last summer, George and I were coming around the corner at Tuto, which is your daughter's restaurant, which is all connected. And you see us, and what do you say? What are you doing with him? It was so funny. Like, I'm married to him.
I mean, never. I love George so much. It was like my heart. And where'd you come from? I mean, and then as this thing turns, your daughter shows up.
My daughter. And what a great experience she had working.
I didn't want her to leave. I have to be honest. I need her.
Well, she's in college, but she can come back in the summer, which is so great.
The holidays.
Yeah. What was wonderful too, Donna, for her. So my daughter is a young woman now. She's in college, and for her to she's been around fashion since she was born, but to be there in the store where every kind of person comes in the door, and she is able to hold her own because we are not there. She is being her full self. So one of the stories she told me, which I think you will love, I didn't tell you this yet. One day, David Yurman and his wife came in.
Sure.
And so is her name Sylvia? Yeah. And so she introduced herself and said, and that's my husband, David Yurman. So Carrie, my daughter, said, oh, she went over and introduced herself. She says, I think that you know my father, George Chinsey. And he says, oh, we just know him as George. Then she started calling her David Yermer started calling Carrie Little Chintzy because that's her name. And then at a certain point, she says to him, you know, I really think your ad campaign was smart this year with Michael B. Jordan, and because it's reaching a younger audience. So she's holding court with David Yerman. It was brilliant. And I was so proud of her that all of her knowledge, and she noticed it. She had told us, when look at that ad. That's interesting that he chose that. And so David says, well, that was my son. My son thought that was a good idea. And it was a good idea. And it is. And I just loved, proud mama. I loved that she takes everything in. She's been taking in fashion since she was born, because that's our life. And she was able to really hold her own. She wants to be a psychologist.
In fashion, I would start there.
We'll
I
see.
think there are more psychology that's needed for the world of fashion. Sorry about that. All the designers need a lot of help.
Yeah, exactly. It's true. And, customers. So she was able to engage customers and see how couples work with each other and what the husbands are saying to the wives. And there was a whole lot of observation and just being able to support people of different personalities. She loved it.
Well, I love her.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we
together are so beautiful.
Thank
you.
It
does a little bit remind me of Gabby and me.
Yeah.
Because
she's great.
Younger than Gabby. And it's in Gabby's restaurant. And Gabby's given me this little store, which I never really wanted. But of course I stay in the restaurant longer than Gabby does. But
so what does it mean to you being a mom of a woman who is as dynamic as your daughter, and you see her building her life and her vision of her business? What is that like for you as her mom?
That's a hard one right now. When Gabby, in the very, very beginning, Gabby went out with New York Times to a friend of mine's house in Italy. Oh my God, he did all my shoes and everything. I would go 3 times a year to Positano and right around there. And she went and worked his shoot. And I wasn't there. It was just Gabby. Mm-hmm. And she wanted to go away for the weekend. And he suggested that she doesn't go to Capri, but the place next to Capri. Mm-hmm. It's much more kind of funky. And whereupon she meets her husband.
Wow.
Italian pilot, stallion, who, and this is how it all goes around and around and round, made his mother come to the Hamptons to teach the restaurateur how to make the Italian food.
I love that. That's why it's so good.
And when they first opened their first Italian restaurant around the corner, this great shop that was next to it, she made me take the store. She had the restaurant, and that was our family. I said, but Gabby, I come out here, I don't come to work. So she said, oh, Ma, we'll do it. We'll play around. We'll eat. We'll dress, and that kind of stuff. And that's how the whole thing happened in SAG. I said, I need some time off. I'm not going to go to Sag Harbor and do clothes.
And what do you do now? But clothes plus, the experience of, I've always said, fashion is important for lots of reasons. Everywhere in the world, every day, people get dressed. And how they get dressed says something about who they are, says something about, as you say, their history, their community, their vision of themselves. And as we look at where we're headed today, I go back to that ad campaign you made with the woman for president. I look at the woman who's running for president now and how she presents herself as a woman and is powerful.
You know what? I have to get her the picture.
Yes.
Yes. So funny. I sent it immediately to Hillary.
You need to send it to Kamala Harris.
I didn't even think of it. Isn't that funny?
That's it. But it's not too late. You can send it to her.
I did say something somewhere that said, finally, dreams come true.
And so what are your hopes for what people do at this point? The election is in a few, not that many days from now. We know that a lot of people in America don't vote. How do we get people to stand up and take action for themselves and their communities?
I think we're going out there to the questionable states. People are
Mhm.
all going out there, seeing the film, realizing the importance of who you are as a woman. And that's
Mhm.
how the film all really became happening. I'm taking the film down to Florida. We're going
Mhm.
to Pennsylvania. It's going to out west. Um, I forgot, Nevada,
Oh, good.
Nevada. And I think, like when all the women were speaking the other day, the fact we have Oprah,
Mhm.
you know, I have to be honest, my real dream was not to be about Democrat and Republican, to have 5 people run this country. This is
Mm.
when the very first election happened, and Hillary was there, and I said, okay, we need 5 people. And I wanted Bloomberg, his brain and money. I wanted Oprah for communication. I wanted out on the West Coast the tech person who knows everything about communication. I want in Texas a young Republican. And I wanted our governor, and he was there at the time. And I said, here's 5 people who come together. It's not a Republican, Democrat. We're the people of the United States. And we've got to unite as one. And yes, everybody's an individual. We have to respect the individuality. We have to know what's important for women. Yes, this should not be a woman's thing, is her rights. It's not a governmental right.
And somehow, if there are enough voices, enough strong voices, enough respected voices reminding people of this, hopefully people are going to take action. But it's opening up your brain and really paying attention and what makes sense. Sometimes people are just not paying attention to what is right in front of their face.
That is true, because when we have a feeling, that doesn't mean somebody else doesn't have that feeling, has that feeling. They're not at that level. It's like, all I want to do is, okay, it's like everybody used to say to me, and I'll never forget this. Well, like Barbara, Donna, this is all well and good, but where are the clothes? Barbara, just sing. That they don't realize we're whole people of creativity.
Mm-hmm.
The creativity is not what you're wearing on the outside, but what you're wearing on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
That, to me, is dressing and addressing. That, to me, is urban Zen. How do we find the calm in the chaos of the world we live in today? The reason
You've
I
been
say,
doing a great job finding that.
well, I try. I really try, and
Well, it's a
so do
focus.
you. And I
It's
love having
a
you as
focus.
my partner. I love having you as my partner in crime. You are so cool. I mean, you
Oh,
really
thank
are cool. You you know it. You own it.
you.
You are it. You're
Thank
more than it. You are the woman of the world.
you.
Feel
Thank
the
you.
woman.
And you know what, Donna, I
The
so
bottom of my
appreciate
heart.
I so appreciate you saying that. Women giving each other compliments is something that's so important. Really seeing the greatness in each other and holding that up is something that we can do for each other. And when we do, everybody's light shines brighter. My mother, who is almost 95, says, notice the bright lights in the room. Who are those people? The bright lights in the room? That's who you gravitate toward, not the naysayers. There are always going to be naysayers. You can put on blinders for them. Who are the bright lights in the room? That's who you want to engage. That's who you want to be able to feed your spirit, because then that circle of love continues. And it's so incredibly important. And that is something that I see in you in your work, in your teams, and in your spirit. So I just thank you so much. Thank you for being a part of this conversation. And this is ongoing. You, as I'll tell folks, we had a wonderful conversation with you and a small group of women this summer. We are continuing conversations to help empower women in particular, but really all of us, to live the best life that we can. And as you say, to find that space of peace in chaos, because we must have it. That's where joy comes, when you are able to find peace in the chaos. So I thank you, my friend. Thank you for joining us.
That you are the teacher.
Mm.
You are our teacher. You came from one thing and saw it much larger.
Yeah.
I feel this is where our connection, when I see the people that you're around and the people you bring in, that is urban Zen.
Mm.
And I share it with you,
Yes.
Harriette. We have to take it to the next level.
Well, here's to taking it to the next level, my dear. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for sharing your wisdom and your love with all of us. I hope you enjoyed Donna Karan as much as I did. Until next time, have a great day and make it count.